The World Health Organization estimates that every year 1.2 million people are killed and over 50 million injured as a result of road accidents. So what if I told you there's one car manufacturer that claims by 2020 no one will get killed or seriously injured in one of their new cars ever again? Blimey. The company in question is Volvo, and today I'll be discovering what they know that we don't. Because I've been given unprecedented access to their top-secret research centre just outside Gothenburg. Volvo's research team has analysed the data of 40,000 accidents in their pursuit to create the world's most protective car. But it's right here that the real work takes place. Built in 2000, this dedicated crash test lab is the most advanced of its type ever. It's also the busiest because in the last decade, nearly 3,000 full-scale accidents have been recreated here. There are 2 tracks, each over 100 metres long. Incredibly, the whole structure can be moved, so every conceivable collision angle can be staged. Combined speeds of 125 miles an hour are possible to an impact accuracy of just 2.5 centimetres. Up to 30 cameras are trained on the accident spot, and some of them can be recording up to 200,000 frames every second. There's even a plexiglass floor underneath the point of impact, so the Volvo boffins can dissect the damage from down here. This is data heaven, and today it's the wreckage of that car there that we'll be poring over. It's Volvo's newest model, the S60, even though it's marketed as the naughty Volvo, because the emphasis is on performance, it's still laden with clever safety aids. It can even slam on the brakes if a pedestrian walks out in front of you. Avoidance technology of this sort is key to Volvo's injury-free cars of the future, because clearly the best way to survive an accident is to not have one in the first place. However, regardless of how many systems monitor my driving behaviour and the behaviours of those around me, it's inevitable that accidents are going to happen. So, what I want to know is this. How can Volvo hope to build a car so strong, so absorbent, yet protect the occupants inside no matter what? Let's have a little crash and find out. Today's test is going to be an offset frontal impact at around 40 miles an hour, replicating a typical head-on crash into another car doing the same speed. A deformable block backed by 850 tons of immovable metal simulates the other vehicle.
All system clear. Counting down initiating.
With the all-clear given, I went to analyse the wreckage with Volvo's safety chief, Thomas Broberg.
This is actually where you see the crumple zone. We have deformed the whole package here, but we kept the occupant compartment intact.
In fact, the crumple zone has absorbed the crash forces so efficiently, there's not so much as a cracked windscreen.
This sensor here is looking in front of the car, using a laser technology. So if you have an object in front of it, we can calculate the closing velocity to the object.
So it knows?
It knows the crash violence before the crash occurs. And based on that information, we can choose if we want to have a soft or a hard airbag, and also the force in the safety belt is changed based on that information.
That means the airbags and seatbelt tensioners don't just go off. Instead, they're tuned to respond to the size of the crash, which makes them far more effective.
Based on the dummy readings from a crash like this, the dummy here will have minor bruises, minor injuries, maybe a broken collarbone at tops, depending, of course, on your health, your status.
Yes. So it was clear the car had protected its occupants at 40 miles an hour. But what about Volvo's claims that 10 years from now, you'd be safe at any speed?
The real big enabler for us in the future is when cars starts to communicate with each other and starts to communicate with the infrastructure.
Right.
When you get that kind of infrastructure, I don't think we can even imagine what we are able to do from a safety standpoint.
Effectively, we're talking about cars fitted with radar and sonar, so they know exactly where the hazards are. In theory, hundreds of vehicles could drive bumper to bumper at high speed with their drivers asleep, and still no one would crash. There'll be a crash test performed here every day for the next 10 years in a bid to perfect systems like that. After that, the hope is there'll never be another need for a crash test ever again.